Hello, hello. I am Kelly. I'm your joy life coach, and today I want to share one joyful tool for life and a story from last week. And so the tool is called equal airtime. And last week I was having a positively peaceful time with my mom in Florida. And as it happens, we have nothing planned, but plans still went awry. So we were sitting on her couch one night and I started to have lightning flashing in this eye. Thinking that is not normal. But I had heard of something like a migraine that could cause that, and you could have a migraine of your eye. And so I laid down for just a little bit. I actually got a little bit of caffeine just to see if that was throwing me off or something, and that didn't help. So basically, I thought something is definitely wrong, but I'm always thinking I need to give equal airtime. I don't need to go to the disaster zone in my brain. And while I am a joy life coach, I am still not immune to negative thoughts. We have 60,000 thoughts a day, and a lot of mine are negative. I just have these tools so that I can work with them and that they will work for me. And so when we started to Google, as you do, light flashes in your eye, there's not a lot of great outcomes. You know, it's a little anxiety producing. And so we tried to call her doctor, and it's after hours, and they don't take patients that are not already on their books after hours. And so I tried to call my doctor back in Texas, and he graciously did answer after hours. I'm so thankful for that. He did say, well, don't bend over until you can get to an eye doctor. Could be a retina detachment. Like, okay. He said, but relax. And I'm like, okay, not relaxing, right? So he said, just get in as soon as possible, show up at their doorstep, and they'll figure that out in the morning. So that was the plan, show up at their doorstep. But you still have to try to figure out how to get to sleep that night, right? And so this equal airtime tool is what I employed, so I was able to get some sleep. And basically I didn't discard my negative thoughts. I allowed them to be there. It's like, okay, let's go to the worst case scenario. Then what are you thinking, and what would you do if the worst thing happened from this? And so I am a coach, I'm a designer, I am a photographer, I'm a writer. And so all these things are very visual in my mind, and I love my visual world. But that's not guaranteed at all, right? So let's go to the worst case scenario of I lose sight in this eye. Okay? And what then? I'm like, okay, well, I'm not going to stay in this thought for a long time. But if I lost sight in that eye, I literally have another eye. And I have friends and family that will help me figure things out. And I've actually had worse things happen, and I've figured them out. So I went there. I'm not afraid to go there, not afraid to have those feelings of being afraid. But then on the same timeline, we need to be able to look at the most positive outcome. Give equal airtime to that positive and negative so we don't ruminate, we don't dwell. So then with the information I had, I went to the most positive outcome. And for me, I was thinking, I show up in the morning, they actually take me in and they do some little laser surgery, and I'm out money I wasn't expecting to be out on this vacation. And that's the best possible outcome. So that's what I was going for. And yes, our thoughts dart around, and you can almost, feel yourself balancing in between. But it's enough to get you to a place where you can fall asleep until you can get to a place where you can get more information. And so I won't leave you hanging. We did get in to my mom's doctor, and they were gracious enough to do a full workup. And he said, I have PVD, which is posterior vitreous detachment. And so it's that jello that's kind of holding your eye in there. And it is detaching, but it's also a natural part of aging. And so because I'm nearsighted and maybe just because of chance, this one has decided to drastically detach, and you see those flashes of lightning. You get additional of those little floaters coming up, and it's a natural thing, and it might just happen to you, and you're hopefully much older than me when it happens, and it's gradual, so it's not as noticeable. But basically they said, hey, in a couple weeks, in a month, the flashes are going to stop. That jello is going to settle down. And this sounds so foreign to me, but if I look at it, I go, wow, my outcome is actually better than what my best case scenario was last night. And so I know that's not realistic, that is always the case. Obviously, bad things happen, and usually it's something between your worst case scenario and your best case scenario that happens. But where a lot of us get trapped is in the worry and that fear of what's going to happen in the future. And most of our worry is about things that will never happen. And so the best thing that happened to me in that whole scenario was that I, in real time, used one of those joy tools for life and went through the equal airtime. I gave airtime to the worst thing that could happen. I gave airtime to the best thing that can happen, and to know I will figure it out either way. Now, you can apply this to almost anything in life. If you're thinking negatively about something, let's look at it from the other point of view. And then you don't have to commit to either one. You get to choose. Usually you get to choose. Sometimes when it's your eye, you don't get to choose. But you get to choose how you respond to it. So if you need other joy tools for life, I hope this helped you. But reach out to me at kellydoherty.com or follow me on Instagram. I'll see you soon.